southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I ought to slow down, standing in the pouring rain.
What's going on, guys? Tristan and Tony here, back with another episode of the One Hell of a Life Outdoor Podcast. Today we got Joe Strong on, the owner of Pineside Performance or Pineside Outdoors. I follow him on Instagram, and we're just connecting for a podcast. We were just talking off air that he's from Pennsylvania, and Joe, give us a little rundown of who you are and where you're from and all that, man.
Yeah, dude, and hey, welcome to the show.
Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys. Yeah. It's awesome. My name's Joe. It says right there in the corner, I believe.
Yeah.
And I own Pineside Outdoors or Pineside Performance. We kind of play on both words depending on the type of line we're putting out. So we have a performance gear, which we're still working on a lot, which I'm sure we'll get into, and then the Pineside Outdoors, which is more so like the apparel side with I would say like hoodies, t-shirts, like graphic tees and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a two-part thing in one segment. But yeah, we like to do outdoor stuff, fishing, hunting, all that good stuff. Have a good time.
Nice.
Mostly have a good time.
Yeah.
Well, obviously you know what you're doing because I already see like 2 shirts right now that I want.
Yeah. So those are some of our sun shirts that we put out in the summertime. So I kind of try to have a display of some of the things that we have because I don't have anything at my house anymore. We have a warehouse now. So, I mean, it's not huge. It's not a huge warehouse at all, but it gets the job done. So it's better than having it in your house.
Nice, man. Well, give us a little background, I guess how you got into that and what's your background? I mean, did you, like we were talking to Brock Miller, which you reached out to me after that podcast, and he, had a background in like digital marketing kind of stuff from college, but then he was saying that like what he does now, he like wish that stuff applied, but it doesn't apply all that much. I mean, do you have a background in kind of the brand, something that translates to owning a brand, or where'd that come from?
How much time you guys got?
We're here as long as you want a podcast, brother.
That's right.
No, it's actually interesting because I had no background in any of that stuff. Obviously, outdoors I did that since I was a kid, but I actually was in school for kinesiology, which if you guys don't know, it's study of movements of the body. I was actually a strength and conditioning coach for 7 years, but in the meantime, I was also working on.
What a cool name to have when you're doing that.
Yeah, it was a very good name to have, and
right.
Coach Strong was pretty.
Oh yeah, Coach Strong.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. Like, it took me a minute to get that one.
I throw Tristan for curveballs sometimes where he does have to like think for a minute and go, "What is he talking about?" So, sorry.
The crazy thing is, I never even thought of it like that until people were like, "You have like a great name for what you do," and I was just like, "Yeah, I guess." I never, because it's just. You go your whole life with that last name, doesn't really ring a bell until someone hears that name and they're like, that's a unique last name. But I don't know. You get bullied a little bit too, calling you Joe Weak or you even strong or this or that. It is what it is. But yeah, so this is crazy how this whole business started because I actually didn't even start it to make money in the beginning. I actually started it to wear gear myself and from my dad and whoever else on wear. So I went to the University of Tennessee. I transferred there from community college, and I was going to school for exercise science, kinesiology, whatever you want to call it. And we were walking through a Bass Pro Shop, and I was like, Dad, this is cool, but like a lot of this stuff kind of, I don't want to say it looks the same, but I was like, it kind of all kind of looks a little bit generic. And I was like, I just feel like we could make something for ourselves to wear when we're fishing, whatever you want to do. So we just started making stuff for fun. And then like a friend came over one day. I was like, oh, what is this hat? And I was like, oh, just like hats we're making, me and my dad. And he's like, oh, can I get one? And I was like, yeah, sure, take one. He wore that hat. And then like, I tell you, like 10 more people texted me, asked me for a hat like that. And then I was like, I guess I'll just make some hats.
Yeah.
So then I just started giving hats out, and more people started messaging me, and I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. And they're like, how much for a hat? And I was like, I don't know, like $15. Like, I didn't have a market. Like, I didn't even mean to do this on purpose. Like, this whole brand wasn't started on purpose.
Wow.
So then I just started slinging the gear, and people started buying it. And then we had this is, I guess, during the pandemic. So we'd have like little parties because we couldn't go out around here. Everything was shut down. And people would come here and just start buying stuff. And like things that I would start making, they would want to buy that for more money because it was like limited edition. It was weird.
Yeah, and then it turned into
crazy.
then it turned into man, there's a party at Joe's every Friday.
Yeah.
There was. We have a bar at the house, and people would come
Nice.
over, and it was like we were like bootlegging, like back in Prohibition or something.
That's
It's
right.
speakeasy.
That's awesome.
That's cool, man. Well, I guess it's kind of got to be meant to be. And I mean, obviously, you got a big following on Instagram. I mean, it's seems like it's been pretty successful.
Yeah, I mean, it was weird. It's a weird thing. As I say, taking you back from when we started, like I didn't even have social media. Like I had 500 followers on my personal account, and that's probably from high school.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing. I was just throwing crap at a wall and seeing if it stuck. And just if I go back now and look at what I've posted, it's probably the most cringiest thing you'll ever
Oh,
see.
dude, we
You know what I
understand.
mean?
Yes,
You know what I
we
mean?
totally understand.
Yeah, we've had YouTube videos we've had to take off because we're like, that's just so.
That's so embarrassing.
I believe I saw my first YouTube video on there, and it's like the most cringiest thing ever. Oh my god! I'd never even want to watch it. I think the first 2 or 3, probably the first, all of them, honestly, not all of them, but most of them in the beginning days, so bad. It was so.
It's so hard to
Scary.
listen to yourself like talk to, especially when you're like really uncomfortable with the camera at first.
This fall, elevate your outdoor pursuits with Williamson Outfitters, offering professionally guided experiences along Florida's Forgotten Coast. Whether it's coastal duck hunting, inshore fishing, gator hunting, or flounder gigging, every Williamson Outfitters experience is guided by a seasoned, licensed captain, delivering world-class adventure with local expertise. From small private groups to large corporate retreats, our fleet of well-equipped boats and experienced guides deliver first-class outdoor adventures for sportsmen of all ages and experience levels. Call or text 850-251-8650 or visit www.floridaducks.com to book your trip. Williamson Outfitters, making the Forgotten Coast unforgettable.
Yeah, well, and you hear your voice differently than other people do. You know, it just we don't all hear it, the tone and everything. And you're always going to be your worst critic, right? You know, but you know, while we're on that topic, dude, let's talk about this for a second, because I think we're kind of onto something. Is, you know, we all do this, right? I mean, everybody that we associate Tristan with, who we have on podcasts, they're either, you know, somebody that's got a big following or has a retail line or is a specialist, a biologist. You know, they're very heavily involved in recording, video, everything, right? I mean, just
Usually,
yeah, for the most part. So I think where I want to break this down for a second is, you know, number one, I think all of us would look at it and say, lessons learned. You know what I mean? Lessons learned. So there's the positive right out the gate, is that you get out of that, and you know, while it's embarrassing, you're just doing it out of straight heart and passion when you start. The first time you're on camera or you're on audio, video, it doesn't matter what it is. And, you know, you just don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, I think everybody
Yeah.
goes through that, you know.
So how long have
Yeah.
how long you guys been doing, or well, how long have you been doing Pineside?
This is year 5.
Awesome.
Year 5. So we've been through a lot of change, a lot of adapting, and a lot of ups and downs. You know, that's just nature of the course. Kind of sucks sometimes, and then sometimes it's great, and then other times you're like, what the hell am I getting myself into?
Well, I would imagine just like sourcing, I mean, your different designs and, you know, the fabrics and all that stuff. I mean, especially like the changing climate of, you know, tariffs and whatever stuff overseas. I mean, it's got to be constantly, you know, stuff you got to keep up with.
You know, before we I want to dive into some of that actually and talk about what you can talk about, because we don't want to give away any trade secrets or anything like that. But, you know, what do you think, like when I was hearing you talk about like, man, I just made some hats and people liked them and I kept getting calls and people wanted them. But why?
Yeah.
What do you think? Was it something that you had an eye for? Just that you're staying on top of trends? It's a statement that you got lucky with? You know, what do you think is like kind of at least in the beginning into now, like talk about what your passion, because obviously it's good looking stuff, dude. It's aesthetically,
I appreciate
it's
it. Thank
beautiful.
you.
I mean, it is. And, but kind of like is that something you just maybe just accidentally found a knack for, or what do you think has made people grow your brand?
Honestly, when we first came out with it, I don't even think the design was even good looking, but I think it was different looking. And we have different colors, like bright colors. Like we didn't necessarily, it was more just outdoors at first. I wasn't going with the camos or anything like that. Like you gotta remember, this is during pandemic, so we didn't have our hands on a lot of products. So it was just more so what we can get our hands on. We were printing the material. We were pressing the material on hats. I think it was just the scheme. It was during summertime, so bright colors were a thing. And that was how it started. I wish I had some like old sample things in here to show you guys, because I don't. Unfortunately, they're in the other room. I should have brought them. But
You're good.
I honestly don't know. I think it was more so just a community trying to support somebody doing something. But I didn't start it for our business, and then people really liked them. And it was more so like having the rare hat in the area. So it's like, I have this undropped hat right now that no one can get their hands on. And then it became like a commodity thing. And it was like kind of weird. And I started putting out like leather patch hats, and those started getting popular. We sourced some from like somewhere online. I don't even know. At that point, I had no idea what sourcing was. I didn't know anything about that stuff. It was so new to me, and I was just trying to navigate this thing. So I was like, yo, we have something here. I think it was more so the name than it was the design. I think a lot of people thought the name was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And how I came up with that is my neighborhood's called Lakeside, and the neighborhood next to it's called Pinewood. I combined those names in a Tennessee hotel room
Nice.
on a piece of paper on like one of those Hilton. I think it was a Holiday Inn. And then I wish I still had it, but I don't. And I texted my friend. I was like, yo, what do you think about the name Pineside? And he was like, oh, that's a pretty cool name. And I was like, yeah, it's kind of cool, right? And he was just like, yeah. And then I just started making stuff. I was actually in college, and my dad was making the stuff at the house for us. And he would send it to me and my buddy in Tennessee. And we would just wear it, you know. He was on the Tennessee fishing team. I was on it for a little bit, then academics got in the way and stuff like that. So I was very briefly, went to a few meetings, and then I just had other things going on. But yeah, and then we just wore it for fun. And then like I said, people just started wearing it. And I really to this day have no idea why, but I knew I had something, and I knew I had to keep the wagon going. So we just started messing around with designs and screwing up a lot.
That's cool, man. It's a cool story.
No, that is. I mean, just riding the wave.
Yeah. When it comes to, I mean, because we don't have a ton of experience, but we'll do kind of like merch drops here and there, mostly just for like us and our friends. But you know, some people listen to podcasts, you know, buy the hats or whatever we do. But like from a minimum standpoint, it's like you get. I mean, until you get like way up in those quantities, you know this way better than we do. Like, it's so hard to get those price breaks. I mean, has that been a challenge, like, being able to get the quantities needed to, like, okay, yeah, we can actually, like, get a profit on this stuff?
Yeah, so I go overseas now, learned the hard way over there, because if you go in there blindfolded, that's a whole nother story, but I had a whole thing of hoodies. I think there was 200 hoodies that I messed up. You got to be on your P's and Q's with these people, because if you're not, they're going to just assume. And that's the worst thing for you to do. So sample, no matter how much it costs. It's huge, because I had $5,000 worth of hoodies. I had to give them away because they just were not good.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that was right before the Bassmaster Classic, too. So that was back in Knoxville. I guess I'm looking at the badge. It was 2023. We had a bunch of product coming in, and the hoodies. I was excited for these hoodies that come in, and they did not do well. So I just had to get rid of them. Like, I just was like, I'm not selling this product. Like,
yeah,
sourcing it. Like, but to your answer to your question, yeah, hoodies, hats, all that stuff is usually like a minimum quantity of 100. So you have to buy a large amount, and the price point is better than just like printing on demand or whatever, because you get a better discount, but you got to put out the money for it. So if you have like customers ready to go, it's definitely beneficial, but you're going to put out a pretty penny.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I mean, that's our dilemma all the time, is like, we're not like, we're more into like the video and media and podcast like realm. So it's like, you want to put out some merch at like a decent price, but then you're like, okay, basically if I don't put it at this, I'm not going to even break even on it. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
when you're only buying 12 or 24 hats, I mean, you just can't find, unless you're getting something like some crappy hats. But I mean, we always like to, you know how a good hat is. I mean, you want
Yep.
quality. So,
Oh yeah, no, but when we did T-shirts one time, you know, dude, I went through like, because I'm so OCD, I was like, you know, you find that kind of certain T-shirt that you buy somewhere, it's an area T-shirt or whatever it is, you know, and you know, Takova's T-shirt or whatever it is, and you're like, gosh dang, dude, I love that
actually
material.
don't like their shirts that much.
Well, I mean, you know what I'm saying, though. You know, you find
I'm
that
just playing.
you,
Yeah.
you find that certain T-shirt, and you're like, you feel it and you touch it, and you're like, oh, I love this shirt. It looks good on me, that kind of thing. And we did that. I mean, I did that for God, like probably 5-6 different shirts, you know. And I put it on, and I'm like, man, you know, it just took me a week to get this shirt, and that's not going to work, you know. But it is. I mean, I guess it's just like anything else, like, right? I mean, if you got to invest money to make money, you know what I mean? And sometimes you win and sometimes you lose, you know. And the tough part being a small business is just saying, all right, especially when you have wives and everything else involved, the reality of it is you're like, all right, babe, I need $1,000. And she's like, it's already hunting season. You're going to spend $1,000 like by next week.
Yes,
you know what I mean? You know, and then you're like, but I need another 1,000, you know? So that's the reality of it. And we all, you know, at the end of the day, you gotta find, like, with you knew that stuff was working. So it probably made you feel very confident in investing more money in your business, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there's ebbs and flows with the business. Obviously, we're getting ready to come up on our busy time of the year with the holidays, which is awesome. But even with like what you were saying about the material and the clothing, I'm so like locked in on like making the material perfect because I'm very meticulous on how I like things fitting me. So like if a t-shirt's too tight around the back or the hoodie's riding up the armpits, like I'm gonna make sure like if it passes my code, it's probably going to pass somebody who doesn't care that much, you know? Yeah. So like, I want to go above and beyond and make good gear. Cause I feel like a lot of times there's just companies, you know, they're just printing on regular t-shirts or whatever. And that's cool. Cause I started that way, but you have to eventually evolve and set yourself apart. And like, for me, that's where I'm at right now. It's like, I'm fully manufacturing hats, hoodies, actually I have waders that we're manufacturing and we're getting ready to put out next year. We've been testing them out for about a year now. I just need to make sure they're a good product to come out because obviously they're going to be expensive. So I need people to trust that these are going to last you a long time. So that's why I've been just putting my due diligence on posting videos about it, just giving updates in like certain situations. Like if I'm getting stuck in mud, you know, if I'm running up on ice or something like that, I'm just constantly updating the customers because they want to know. And we've gotten really good feedback on them. So we're just collecting more data and then next year we're going to release them.
Dude, that's awesome. Good for y'all.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, man, isn't that so important in our industry? You know, any hunting industry, I guess. Like when it comes to the performance materials of whatever it is, your backpack, your jacket, your pants, your waders, whatever it is. I mean, good for you that you're putting the time in as a hunter to say, man, look, I'm going to be representing this. I want to make sure that this is going to work.
Yeah, because like kind of to piggyback off of that, like the outdoor industry, like everyone's so hard on everything. It's like people will either be like, and when I say hard, like everyone, you know, is on.
They don't take care of their shit.
Yeah, exactly. On their gear. Like, or even if they do, they're just, you know, out there every day. Yeah. So it's like if it works great and it's built well, like they will be your biggest advocate, I would imagine. And then like if it's a piece of shit, like you'll
your
find
worst
out
critic. Yep.
And that's kind of how like I want the brand to be, is more so not like talking about it, actually being about it, you know, because, you know, I'm an angler, I'm a hunter myself. So I'm out there doing this stuff on a daily basis. So if this stuff is failing, then why the hell am I going to wear it? Why the hell am I going to sell to somebody? You know what I mean? So,
sure.
I mean, proof's in the pudding. I mean, I can't fake it. You know what I mean? Because I'm actually out here doing it. And that's kind of how I built the brand. I didn't want to be just a guy behind a desk. Like, you really got to show these products off. And I think once you make really good products, they're going to just talk for themselves because you need good products.
What's up, guys? Tristan here. If you're like us, you need gear that's going to stand up to the elements and not break the bank. That's exactly what we love about Frog Talks. They just dropped their brand new Expo waterfowl series, and let me tell you, this stuff is built for serious hunters who don't want to quit when the weather turns nasty. It's tough, lightweight, and waterproof. Everything you need when you're out there chasing ducks. If you're looking to upgrade your gear this season, head over to frogtalks.com and use code OneHellOfALife at checkout for 15% off your order.
To be able to be reputable and take that next jump. I mean, you can always market things and stuff like that, but eventually someone's going to catch on to it. Like, yo, their product's crap. Like, don't buy that. It's junk. Whatever. You know, there's plenty of people out there that do it. I just don't. I won't do it. Like I just said, I just gave away $5,000 worth of hoodies because I didn't like them.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. I think that's obviously a testament to, you know, where you guys are at now and where you will be. Before we got on, you were talking a little bit about, you know, getting geared up for duck season coming in next weekend. So, you know, how long you been hunting? I mean, what got you into the outdoors? What drives that passion for you? Or did you start fishing? Like, let's just talk a little bit of shop on that.
So growing up, actually, it was dirt bikes and fishing. So we rode dirt bikes. My sister raced. I didn't race. My dad raced. I more like just did my own thing. I think that kind of emulates like what I do now. I do my own thing. You know what I mean? I don't like a lot of organized things for people telling me what to do. So it was fishing and dirt bikes on the weekend. So we weren't riding dirt bikes. We were fishing or in the creek grabbing snakes, salamanders, turtles, frogs, whatever we could do. My dad wasn't much of a hunter. He didn't hunt. He fished though, and we gave us dirt. We were on dirt bikes at 3 years old. Me and my sister had PW 50s and an Eton quad, and we would ride those every weekend. And then as I got older, fishing, and then football happened. So football in the fall takes up a lot of my time. I actually got the privilege to get some college interest, and I went there and I was like, yeah, this isn't for me. I need to go make money because like you have to make, at the end of the day, you got to make money to survive. And we were okay, like middle class, but like, you know, we weren't like rolling in it. I got to go make money. And then eventually started hunting, duck hunting. I honestly fell in love with duck hunting a couple of years ago. And I was and honestly, I think I love duck hunting so much is because it's kind of like bass fishing where it's like different spreads, different lures, different settings. Like everything's similar, but not at the same time. And you get to shoot something, which is cool.
That's I never thought about it that way. And I mean, I would imagine like as a bass fisherman getting to fish different lakes, like that's got to be like what we love about duck hunting is not only like the mixed bag aspect of it, but just like to your point, those different environments. Like it's always, I mean,
playing that game
literally from one field to the next field could be a different environment, you know, in the same state. So that is a really great, like kind of, I don't know, whatever you want to call that, where you compare them. I forget what that's called.
No, but
similarity, I guess.
But isn't that
analogy?
No, but isn't that interesting too, Tristan? I didn't thought about it this way either. Is like same thing with fishing, right? Like if you go to say the Great Lakes, right, and you go fish smallmouth, you go out with one person, and they're gonna be like, "Bro, I'm telling you what, this lure right here, on this kinds of days, we're gonna wax their ass." But you could go out with the next guy and he'd be like, let me tell you something. This lure right here, you know what I mean? Because you get to learn that local game, right?
Yeah.
Where, and that's one thing that is really fun about fishing too, but that I really enjoy about duck hunting when we go different places is just seeing how different people do it. You know what I mean? The decoys they use and why, the calls they use and why, you know, all that stuff. So.
Yeah, it's like when we go down to like the salt marshes to then hunting like the local river, it's like totally different night and day. You got the sea ducks and everything else. So, but yeah, no, I have fun with it. Like I said, like I kind of dug deep into it and went down a rabbit hole. And now I got dogs and everything else. So I trained my own dog. She's, I don't know, she's a nut, but she's good. She listens good. So
what kind of dog you got?
This will be her. I got my black lab's a hunter. My German short-haired pointer is a crybaby, and we call her like a house princess. She literally will tell you how it is. She talks back to you. She hates loud noises. She's an awesome dog. She's just like a princess, like your number one princess of a dog. It's just like, And she was the first one I got because I was going to train her to hunt pheasant and stuff. Everything was going good. And then we got the black lab. And then we just really figured out that she didn't like loud noises, the thunderstorm, fireworks, anything like that. She would like start shaking in the corner. It's like, this is weird, but I'm not going to force it on her. The dog has to want it. So, then our black lab, she just is like, she's like a sponge. And anything you teach her, she does it wrong the first time. You correct her. She's perfect. Like, it's crazy because I'm getting spoiled with this dog.
Aren't they amazing? I mean, I'm going through that with my own puppy right now, and I don't want to necessarily talk about her. But number one, I love hearing that you got a girl, because everybody's like, why'd you get a female? I'm like, why would you have a preference of female or male if I get the pick of the litter and that one was passed all the tests and making everybody look bad? I don't give a shit what it is, but they are a sponge, dude. And I never had a dog with like this good of a bloodline. We had great dogs, but I never had one. I guess I didn't understand.
Never had a hunting dog to begin with.
Yeah, I never had a hunting dog, period. And I just didn't understand, like, why is there such a craze about, number one, black labs, number two, this whole like hunting them and all this stuff. I had no idea that when you get a good dog with good bloodline, how they make you look good real easy. You know what I mean? Do you know what I'm talking about? It humbles me. It really does.
I'm training her. And I'm like, I know, like, I'm not the most experienced dog trainer in the world. But she just makes me look good. And I'm just like, this is crazy. Like, look at me, guys. Look, the dog listens. And like, look, somebody listens to you. I'm like, it's crazy. It's like, hey, I'll take it. It's crazy how they act from the house to like when you're out on the boat on the water with them. Like, they act so different. Like, she's like, when she's out there, she's just like this. When she's at home, she goofs off and messes around. Like, totally different dogs, like night and day. It's crazy.
Yeah, they are. They are like ours. She loves my wife. She wanted to have a strong relationship with her, and this dog, like, she won't lay with me, but she'll lay with mom. And I'm like, instead of being a jealous guy, I was like, let him have that. Let the dog have that. Like, mom have that. She needs to be a dog and be a puppy, at the same time. But it's a great ride so far. And how old is she?
She's turning 2 years in February. So this will be her first year hunting. I didn't want to rush her into it because a lot of guys, they like to rush her in. I've talked to a lot of my buddies who train dogs, and they're like, don't rush the dog. Like, take your time with her, let her develop. And I was like, I don't care to hunt her right away. Anyways, when she's ready, she's ready. And I mean, if not, I'm retrieving the duck anyways and putting myself at arm's way. So,
I'm happy. I'm happy you said that. It just gives me more confidence in what I'm doing because, I kind of timed when I wanted this dog, and it all happened for a reason, I believe. But, she's right now like 22 weeks. And I'm not going to hunt her either. She's learned all these things. I'm focusing more on association, that kind of stuff. But she'll go to Mill Creek Retrievers, like probably around the 1st of February. I'm going to send her, but I'm going to take her with me hunting camps and all that stuff and let her associate with the other labs and, do that kind of stuff. And then maybe if I have an opportunity to, if we're out of cage or something, I could go out in an afternoon by myself with her, maybe something like that. But while I want her so bad, I want to see her get that first duck. It's just one of those things where I might have to wait another 370 something days. So.
Yeah, we were actually, like I said, it's her first year out there, and we took her out early season because we get like 2.5 weeks or whatever it is, something stupid. And we take her out there to hunt, and we get 2 ducks. We whiff on them.
Oh, no.
I think the dog doesn't even understand what's going on out there anymore. Like, she just like, what are we doing out here so early in the morning? Because the early season, it's not good. Like, we don't get any ducks, so you only get like maybe maybe 3 ducks come by, and then that's your day. Jeez. That's how it is up here in Pennsylvania. So, but I think she's fine. She'll be fine. Obviously, she knows her command. So when I send her out on a duck or something like that, she'll be fine. But I need to get her on this damn duck soon. Hopefully next week, because clock's ticking.
That's right, dude. You have to send me a video of that. I want to see it because I'm so excited. I've got to wait another year, so I'm jealous and envious of that.
Dude, I love the process of training the dogs. So I honestly got kind of like attached to it. I want to get another dog. I want to get Chesapeake, and I'll see if I can duplicate it, or the dog just making me look good. Like I really, because I took my training from like being a strength coach, and once I learned the fundamentals of training a dog and like knowing what it needs, I kind of just implemented the programming to the dog, and we would have certain days where we just go out and train. You know, like maybe 20 minutes in the morning and then 20 minutes in the evening if I have time, because the dog's attention span out there is only so long. So,
Sure.
And it honestly, like, it worked. I mean, I think it worked at least. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I mean, everything I teach her to do, like I'll send her on these blind retrieves, like 200-yard blind retrieves. And like in my neighborhood, it's like a suburban neighborhood, and there's people out there and stuff like that. And she just goes right after the bumper, comes back right at my hip. So I'm hoping. Yeah, it's cool. She's interesting. I'll send you some videos.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude, definitely
insane.
do. I love it. I'm just like you said, dude. I am. I don't know. I'm obsessed. That's all. I'll leave it at that. I could talk about it all day long.
Same. I love my dogs. So.
I understand why people get so into this, but going back to my original point, my point is about there's a reason why. Now I understand all of you folks with AKC dogs of any kind, really, whether you're a sheepdog or whatever it is. There's a reason why people get good bloodlines. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and now I personally understand. You know, and it's just I'm like, oh, I didn't know they made them this good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things.
I have one that comes from an OK bloodline, and then I have one that comes from a champion bloodline. So I can definitely see the difference.
Nice.
That's
nice.
funny.
Heck yeah.
So how's your regular duck season shaping up? You guys think it'll do pretty good or what?
Yeah, I mean, it's getting the cold front right now, so there's a lot of birds. There's definitely a lot of birds. We've been doing some scouting, and then we're also going to Illinois.
Awesome.
The day after Christmas, so we're gonna go meet up. You know the Southern Attic guys, like Hayes and Tanner.
Why does that
they were
sound familiar
Southern
to me?
Attic. Is it Southern Attic Outdoors?
Yeah, I think that's their Instagram account. Southern, it's like white flag. They're good buddies of mine. Well, Hayes is.
Let me see. I feel like I follow them.
What area, like what part of Illinois, like north, south, middle? Where you?
South.
South.
Yeah, from what I'm told, we're gonna be hunting a lot of cornfield, like flooded corn.
Nice.
But I've never been there. They just told me to come because my buddy owns like 500 acres of private land in Arkansas. But he was like, I'm going to Illinois. You should meet me there because he told me we're going to get after it. So me and a couple of the buddies loaded a truck up the day after Christmas, and we're headed there. So let's
Heck
see what
yeah,
happens.
man.
I'm excited. We're definitely excited.
I follow them. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's obviously where I've heard it from. I don't know when I started following them, but I do.
Yeah, they're good dudes
Small
over there. Hayes, I talked to Hayes a lot, and then Tanner as well. So they both run that account. So they're good dudes. So yeah, so we'll be out there. We'll be filming and stuff too. So I'm excited.
Yeah, we're originally from like south, I guess, western Illinois, kind of like across the river from St. Louis.
Yeah, I only ever been to Illinois one time, so
Well,
making my comeback.
Outside of hunting and fishing, yeah.
Well, I'll say this though. I'll say this. Yeah, outside of that, that's about all I got.
It's. I mean, I've never been to Chicago or any of that, but
Don't.
I mean, the hunting and fishing is it's a good place to be for a lot of that.
It is. I will say that, dude. They do a great job with their natural resources, and it's beautiful country in Illinois. It can be so diverse. I mean, it's got some of the best soil in the world for habitat for whitetails and game. You know, ducks, you name it, geese, that kind of thing. And you can go from corn flats for miles as far as you can see. It looks like Kansas to rolling hills that are as steep as those Ozark Mountains. You know what I mean? And
What's up, guys? If you want coffee that doesn't suck, you probably can guess what I'm going to say. Get the Duck. Dirty Duck Coffee is the official coffee of the One Hell of a Life Outdoor podcast, and they have a great lineup of different coffee blends. Everything from Morning Wood and First Flight to Dark Dynasty and Suns Up, Guns Up. You can't go wrong with Dirty Duck Coffee. And they have a great lineup of cold brew cans, mocha, French vanilla, original cold brew, and cinnamon teal snickerdoodle. If you want 15% off your next order, use code OneHellOfALife15 on your next order.
It's a neat state when it comes to that, man. If you're going to be down there in Southern Illinois, it's a beautiful country. You'll love it. It's just got that. It's going to have that ducky feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I'm excited. And like, God.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it. Like apparently, I've seen some stuff about it since, but Ramsey Russell posted this thing like a couple years ago about all this history about the Mississippi River in Illinois, like in the area of where that is. And I guess at one point, I mean, that was like the best duck hunting. I mean, before kind of Arkansas became what it was in its heyday or whatever. I think what he was saying, which I was like, damn, I had no idea.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, excited. Definitely excited. I also excited that I found Airbnbs for like $600 for like 5 days. And I'm like, that's insane.
That is
That
insane.
is awesome. That's not bad at
I'm
all.
like, that's not bad. It's for like 4 people and a dog.
Well, what a lot of people don't understand about Airbnbs is that different states have taxes. So basically, when there's enough revenue coming through from those Airbnbs or anything that's short of a 6-month lease, what happens is those states, they will put in like renter's taxes. Okay, so for like example, Tristan, like when we were in Florida and we had to rent a house, remember I was having such a problem finding a house that somebody would give me that did not have a 12-month lease. I had to sign an agreement. Well, and my buddy helped me out. Well, the reason for that is that if you in the state of Florida, if you have a property that you charge people for, whether it's 1 day or 9 months, they put this vacation. I forgot what the tax is called, but it's an additional tax that they put on that. So people will avoid that by making sure they have a 1-year lease. But that affects.
So you're saying a state like Florida would have that
higher they're going to have higher Airbnb prices immediately just because the insurance that person's got to pay.
Oh, interesting.
Yep. So when you go to destination states like that, and then a state like Illinois, for example, Southern Illinois, let's just say, or if we're in the foothills of Georgia or whatever it is, you're going to find those way cheaper because that tax isn't being assessed. If that makes sense. So anyway, just some insight.
I'd much rather go to those cheaper places anyway. That's more my speed.
Yeah, dude.
I was looking for one out in the country down in South Georgia a couple years ago for us. And me and Tristan and Drew were trying to find this place like way out in the country, right? Well, remember that little house we got?
Yeah, that was in Florida.
Oh, no, Florida. I'm sorry. It was in Florida. Yeah, it's where, was it? Okay, yeah, it was down Florida. But the point is that when I was looking, I found, those old, what was those campers called? The stream?
Yeah.
The something?
Airstreams.
The metal ones. Somebody had one done up for like, it's supposed to be for like a husband and a wife right after they got married. And it was all like hearts and everything. And I almost booked that sumbitch for the 3 of us. It would have been great. But it was only like $60 a night. I was like, goodness gracious.
Yeah, on that trip, we actually stayed at a little house on a farm it was just one bed, a fold-out couch, a kitchenette, and maybe a shower, I think, for $80 a night.
Yeah.
Dude, one time, me and my dad went to Bassmaster Classic in Anderson, South Carolina, which is a beautiful place.
Yeah,
and we got to the Airbnb, and it was like, we got there late, and it was all dark. Like, had to open up like a gate and everything to get in there. And you're just going down this path, and you're like, I've never been here before. There's a lake in the backyard. Who the hell knows what's in the backyard? Like, and we're pulling up, and you're just like so dark. We're like, I'm really hoping that like this place, like, there ain't something wrong because it's pitch black out here. I mean, it's just like going to the woods at nighttime, and I'm going through county, so I don't have any guns on me or anything like that. So I'm like rolling naked over here. So, but it was fine. It was nice. But yeah, those Airbnbs can be sketchy sometimes. You don't know what you get yourself into.
What's it like going to a Bassmaster Classic event? That's got to be pretty cool.
Well, we used to have them. We used to have them down there in Palatka.
Yeah, I know.
Off the St. Johns River. I never went, but
stressful. Making sure you have enough merchandise. And then,
oh wait, okay. I didn't realize it was like you can. I don't even know what. Like, explain to me like what you do. You
used to have a booth there or what?
Yeah, I didn't realize.
Yeah, so it's like they have an expo there. They have an expo, and then they have the tournament. While the tournament's going on, the people go to the expo.
No
mostly.
kidding.
You can see blast off, and then they'll have the tournament going on like while people are at the expo, and then there's like all the top brands there. You know, all them guys are all there. All the boat companies are there. It's decked out, and like there's a lot of companies giving out free stuff,
Wow.
giveaways,
I'm sure
selling
Frog Talks
merch,
does some of
whatever.
that.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm sure they're there too. I didn't go last year. It's just been a bunch of things moving around, trying to get new products in and trying to pick and choose where we go, just because sometimes places aren't the best place. When you put out a bunch of money and the return isn't great, that's just business.
Sure.
Yep.
But whenever it's in Knoxville, we try to go because that's where we started the brand at. So this year's actually back in Knoxville, so we're trying to make a decision if we're going to go or not. But it's stressful for the person who's the company. If you're not a multi-million-dollar company,
Yeah.
like a person like me, I was fortunate enough to have a couple friends help out. My dad, we built the booth we do woodworking too, so we built the booth. We trailered it down. I didn't even have an English trailer at the time. We did put on a landscape trailer and tarped it down.
Oh,
And we just
shoot.
made it happen. We had
Yeah.
gear. We were 2 trucks. We just made this thing happen, and it was awesome. Like we had a great time. We partied our butts off. That was awesome. 'Cause at nighttime at those events, you know how it goes. It's just networking, and people are out there just having a good time.
Literally,
So we'd show up to like the booth hungover the next day. It was fun.
yeah. Dude, that's great. Yeah.
For sure. It
Yeah,
feels like the DU the Ducks convention this year.
Yeah, but I just would imagine the energy around it, just because the tournament's going on and like that's being showed. It would be
The weigh-ins are probably a blast.
really fun.
Oh, dude. So the weigh-ins, like the year I went, had the booth there. I couldn't go to the weigh-ins because I had to be at the booth. But when I was just a person there, just spectating, we'd go to the weigh-ins, and the weigh-ins are freaking awesome, man. It's like they got the music rolling, got the trucks rolling into it with the boats. They got it's
Fireworks.
Really cool. Yeah, it's
dude,
insane.
it's
And
pretty neat.
It's really cool. How they
I've
do
never
it,
been to
honestly.
one in person, but I've definitely watched a bunch of them on TV. You know, what was cool is me and Tristan, we were down shed hunting and doing a little bit of farting around turkey hunting this spring. We were down in South Georgia, and we ended up meeting a fella that he had a picture up there, I think is what it was. And I said, "Do you know Rick Clunn?" He goes, "Oh yeah, me and Rick Clunn are good buddies." He goes, "I used to fish on the Bass Tour," and I was like, "Dude, we're standing in greatness right now." I mean, this guy's probably Tristan 70s, 80s, 70 something.
Probably.
I'd say, old fella. But it was just cool seeing like some of his nostalgic shit, and just that I knew who Rick Clunn was, just from back years and years ago.
Yeah, bass fishing I love bass fishing. I mean, I have a bass boat, and we do a good bit, and you get real humbled real quick when you go into a tournament. You can have a day where you're just slinging it. You go on a tournament and you'll come out with maybe 5 pounds, and you're like, yeah, I'm not even going to weigh-ins. Like, it's just, you have those days, and then there's days like I fished a tournament this year, and me and my girlfriend fished it. It was a tournament we do at our local lake, and they do a thing for ALS every year, which is awesome.
Yeah,
And you go in there, you pay your dues or whatever, and then everything gets donated to the ALS Foundation. And we went in and we were just getting mopped all day. Like, she was hitting them, and then there'd be a pickerel, and it'd be like a 4-pound pickerel. I'm like, wrong weight, wrong fish. Like so we wound up with 7 pounds that day, like total. And we're talking from 7 in the morning till 3:30 in the afternoon.
Okay.
So we go home. I go out with my dad literally the next day, and I smack it was a 12-pound bag in 1 hour.
Wow.
On one bait. I was just like, dude, you got to be kidding me. Like, that's just how bass fishing goes, man. That's just how it is.
I find it so impressive, because we grew up fishing farm ponds and stuff, and in Illinois mostly, and then when we lived in Florida for a little bit, you're fishing your neighborhood ponds and golf courses, and you smash bass in those. But again, it's pretty and big bass too because it's Florida, but it's not even close to up here when. We live close to Lake Lanier, and we went out. We used to have a duck boat, which it's obviously not an ideal fishing setup, but we'd go out there and we'd pull into little coves or whatever and fish docks and troll around or whatever. And Man, we were just like, we got skunked all the time. And I'm like, that's when I realized, like, this is a whole different thing fishing these big lakes and rivers.
It's humbling, right?
It's not even the same thing.
It's not like throwing a popper out there on a late July night on a farm pond, dude, and just wrecking them. You know what I mean? No. It's like the difference between hunting a deer. It's like a difference between hunting a deer on a high fence or on public ground.
Probably.
You know what I mean? Like the vast difference of that. Before I forget, Tristan, just about Lake Lanier, I want to see, does he follow, do you know, have you ever heard of the Finn twins?
Sounds familiar.
They're big up here, Lake Lanier. Tristan, you know more about them than I do, but the only reason why I mention them is that their father runs the pest control company I use, and that's how I learned about them. And but they just slay them.
Yeah, no, they're out there all the time. They're like pretty big YouTubers, I think, and it's just brothers that are like, 22, 23 or whatever, and just making YouTube videos and killing it.
Yep.
I'll have to check them out.
Yeah, they're called the Finns
awesome.
the Finns twins, right?
I was gonna say that, yeah. When it comes to like fishing, like lakes and bigger lakes and bigger bodies of water, like, dude, like just the games that you got to play with the depth, and I mean, it's like you're catching bass at depths that like blow my mind, honestly, in some of these lakes.
Yeah, so I got the privilege to go to St. Lawrence River a couple years back, which is in New York, upstate New York, and that was like the coolest thing in my life. I caught my biggest smallmouth. It was 6.26 pounds, I believe. It was on a bed because they were bedding during this third weekend of June, I believe it is. And I went with my buddies. They were pre-fishing for a tournament. I got to tag along with them guys. They were big tournament guys. And we went out and we fished for a whole week. And we were just drop shots. And it was just like 3-pound bass, smallmouth, at like 30 foot deep. And you see them hit it, and you see them reeling in and fighting the whole time because the water's crystal clear. And it was just an amazing thing. I'm staring at the picture right now of the bass that I caught. Actually, I'm going to see. I'll pull up the lure real quick for y'all. This thing, I take the lure still in here, but that was on St. Lawrence.
Oh my God!
That was on the St. Lawrence River, 6.26, I believe. I pulled off a bed, so yeah. So my buddies actually, because we were pre-fishing, so that fish was going to be one of their tournament fish, and they found out the day of tournament, the spot that we caught it, they couldn't fish it, so they wound up goose egging that tournament. But yeah, I got to catch the fish, so. I always got the one up on them.
Tristan, I've been trying to get Tristan to watch this guy for years, and I know you do if you're a fisherman. But dude, is Zona's Awesome Fishing Show the best fishing show out there? Isn't it one of the best ever, dude?
Yeah.
That guy makes me cry laughing. But he was doing a piece, and you maybe seen it earlier this year, but he was talking about forward-facing sonar, right? All this, yeah, I know, and people talking about is it cheating, all this stuff. But he goes, here's the thing that I love about it. He was out, it might be on the St. Lawrence or something, but he was fishing for smallies, and he goes, I'm out here right now, and I think he said 38 foot of water. He goes, I'm catching these giants right now at 6 foot in the middle of the damn lake, and he goes, no way. Think about it. He goes, think about from the beginning of time since people started fishing. He goes, from then until forward-facing sonar, those fish weren't touched.
Yeah.
He goes, nobody knew that you could find those fish right there.
Yeah.
He goes, so that's what I personally love about it. I thought that was a really cool perspective. I was like, damn, dude, that really is. I mean, you think about it all over, like, the United States, that's just, like, opened up a whole nother realm of fishing, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I'm a fan of forward-facing sonar, and here's why. One, it's not easy to use. That's a misconception. The forward-facing sonar is actually very hard to understand. Until you understand it, it's a hard thing to use. Now, I have it, but someone stole my graph on my boat. It fell off my boat at the boat ramp, and I went back there, and someone stole it. So I've actually been without it. I refuse to buy another graph right now just because they're like $1,000, and I'll just go fish. Like, I'm not tournament fishing right now or anything like that. So it don't matter to me, but I'm actually a huge fan of it. Like, it's hard to use, so it's a learning curve. And two, I like to use it because if I'm fishing a spot and there's no fish there, at least it's going to tell me there's no fish there. You know what I mean?
True.
I don't really scope fish. I don't really scope fish, but I at least want to know I'm throwing in a decent spot.
Right. No, for sure. I mean, I do the same thing with my little fish finder I have on my little bass raider out back. You know, I mean, I'm like, dude, I don't want to like just sit over here and fish for no reason. You know?
Exactly.
So,
I got places to be, so I'm trying to catch some fish while I have the time.
I wish they had
seriously,
forward-facing sonar for deer and ducks.
That's my that's my argument with cell cams. Like, I mean, that's kind of a nuanced thing. Like, I don't necessarily think that while we do use them on public land here, if they outlawed it on public land, I would be cool with that. Like, honestly, but on private land, like, it's made us way more efficient. And it's like, bro, like the time spent wasted. I mean, now when you're in the woods, it's like never a bad day. Like when you're fishing.
No.
So I don't mean to sound that way, but it's like, you know, all of us don't have all the time in the world. So being efficient with your time as an outdoorsman, I mean, time is money and everyone's got responsibilities. So that's the forward. I feel like cell cams are like the forward facing sonars of like the deer woods.
Yeah, no, it totally is. It totally is. But, you know, it's just like we talk about with anything else. And we can like real quickly, probably the hottest topics in all these like people call cheating, you know, could be forward facing sonar. What's it called? The type of style hunting turkeys with a fan.
Oh yeah, reaping.
Yeah. That's cheating, you know. But all you other deer hunters are like, oh, well, I know this guy by his middle name. You know what I mean? I've known this deer since I saw him come out of his mom's ass. You know what I mean? I mean, and you hunt this deer and you have all this technology. Does that make you a great hunter? But you could look at it two different ways. Yes, because you utilize technology to get it done, or no, you were a pussy and took the shortcut. I mean, I'm just saying that's the cool thing about what we do with hunting and fishing is there's a different way to approach it everywhere. You know what I
somebody's
mean?
about to get really pissed off in this podcast if I don't like give devil's advocate real quick, because I think like Joe was saying, like there's a learning curve to, you know, learning forward facing sonar, and it's not the hardest thing. Like regardless like of if you're seeing a stud buck on camera, that's a whole different thing than actually executing taking that buck out, because still to do that takes an insane amount of talent. It does. You got to play the wind. Even if you play the wind right, like shit can still go wrong. Like, so that still just takes an insane amount of talent.
It does.
I think on top of that,
I love that you can approach these sports at different levels. Mm-hmm. You know, and we all have our different preference level, right? Yeah. That's okay. It doesn't mean you need to chastise somebody else because of the way they do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like me and Tristan sometimes, dude, we'll shoot a spike. I mean, we're not afraid of it. We'll brag about it. As a matter of fact,
I don't know about brag about it. I'll just say I'm thankful.
Well, I was actually going to film a video.
I'm not putting it up on the pin board at Academy or whatever.
Well, I'll tell you this, that I had B-roll going because I just knew I was going to shoot this spike on our private land. And I did a B-roll that day, basically that I've been tracking this buck for several, you know, probably the last year and a half since the first time I got him on camera. And I've been waiting for the wind. Played it all out, and then I was going to shoot this spike. You know, just do the whole. But no, and that's the cool thing about our sports is that the outdoor industry and everything is that, you know, we can all approach it the way we want to.
No doubt.
You know, because it's changed a lot for me. I was like a caveman with the. You know, I was like a caveman when I first got into it.
Fire.
Yeah, dude. Rub two sticks together to hunt. You know.
Yeah, and now the technology we have is insane.
Now we have a lighter, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So, but no, I love technology. I'm not beating it up. If that's the way you like it, go do it.
No, I think you know, use it, don't abuse it. That's like my biggest thing is like if you abuse it, like people using forward face sonar, they might give me crap for this, but if you're staring down at the screen the whole time, like you're not looking at the beauty around you. You know what I mean? You're literally in nature. You know what I'm saying? Like you got eagle. We have so many eagles around me. Like eagles going around. Like look at what you're doing, and then like next thing you know, you're gonna lump a freaking 4-pounder. Like that's gonna happen. So like the more you throw in areas, you're gonna get hit eventually. Unless you don't got anything on the end of your line, I don't know what to tell you. But you know what I mean? You got to enjoy like the little things, man. Because like you're out there and like stressing about looking at your screen. You got the beautiful scenery around you, dude. Like, especially some of the places you fish or even hunt. Like, it's hearing birds chirp, like that gets me going. Like, I don't even sometimes care about the fish, dude. I don't care about the fish. Like I'll tell you right now, like I get skunked more times than not. If I'm fortunate enough to catch a fish that day, that's awesome. But I'd rather, and same thing with duck hunting, waking up with the birds, seeing different birds come by you, like that's awesome to me. Like I could care less if we shoot something. I just love being out in nature.
I love that you said that, pointed that out about like the birds chirping, because that's one thing, like, I don't know, that rings a bell with like me, because for whatever like reason, he's always pointed stuff like that out to me. And then now that's just the way I am. But I'll be sitting there, I'll be like, man, did you hear that woodpecker or whatever? Like, you know, or you'll hear that owl and we'll look at each other, you know, or just like stuff like that.
Well, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
You know, no, there was actually something, Tristan, I sent you a video of, and I don't remember if it was a deer or what I was doing hunting. I was out in the woods and I sent him the video, and his reply to me was, oh, that crow in the background was cool, or what, a woodpecker, or it was just, remember, you know, the big red ones when they make the,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
they do that real high, loud, I think that's what it was. And I was like, man, I'm happy that I taught him to, you know, recognize those things, you know, because that's why I sent it to you. Because I was just like, it wasn't the woods I was panning, it was that, it was perfect timing of doing that. You know, I mean, it was lucky timing, I guess I should say.
Yeah. Life's stressful enough. Like if you're out there stressing about executing, then like you're kind of doing, in my opinion, doing it for the wrong reasons. You got to enjoy being out there and what we're fortunate enough to be able to do. You know, that's just, executing just a bonus to me.
That's right.
Well said, man. Well, bringing it back to Pineside, I mean, what exciting stuff do y'all got coming up, you know, here in the next 6 months or years? Is there anything you want to plug about the business, you know?
I mean, we got actually, I'm excited because, like I said, we just got our first little warehouse thing going on, which is cool. And then we got new hats coming in. We got all new hoodies coming in. So we changed all the material up on our hoodies. Not so much, changed up a lot, but like little things that just make them better. We got waders coming. We have base layers coming, hood jackets coming. You name it, we have it coming in the works. A lot of testing going on right now during duck season. So like our wader hoodie and stuff like that, or new gloves, like riding gloves. So like, you know, when you're going to spot when it gets cold out, you got to have some gloves. So we got the gloves going on, goggles, dry bags, shell bags, like all that stuff right now is being tested, and it'll drop next year. And then obviously we have like a bunch of new stuff coming in. Like you see performance shirts behind me. We have new hoodies that I have 2 new hoodies coming in the next week or two. A bunch of new hats, bunch of new t-shirts, you name it, we're bringing it out. And I'm just excited to be able to finally execute it, because last year we had to kind of take a little step back to do a lot of testing on gear to be able to roll it out. Now I feel confident enough to be able to put the gear out and see how it does and see what people honest thoughts about it, because that's like keeps me going. That gets me amped up. Is like, if you tell me something's too tight or this, or it's a little too loose or whatever, I'm taking that critique and tweaking everything. Not everyone's critique, but if it's like a mass people saying, oh, this, the same thing. Okay, I'm not going to be stupid. 2 + 2 is 4. We're going to change it. You know what I mean? So a lot of cool things that I'm super excited about. Like I said, I'm super excited we finally got a place to store our stuff at. And then like next year, we're going to hit the road a little bit more, and we're going to get out to more shows. Because we had to take, like I said, had to take a step back to rebuild up a little bit, just because we're manufactured and crossroads with that stuff. And then you get tariffs and all that crap. So that was something we had to navigate through. So it was kind of tough, especially like being a smaller brand, or like not having a big company, you know. So there's a lot of exciting things to look forward to. And I'm sure there's a lot of things that I don't want to deal with coming up, but we'll deal with them when they happen.
Well, dude, if you're ever in our neck of the woods, you know, Northeast Alabama, North Georgia, you know, South Carolina, anything like that, definitely hit us up, because
for sure, I definitely will
come support and shake hands. And we're trying to get more into like going to just the local shows, especially like kind of in promoting the podcast, doing the more like regional like stuff in our backyard. You know what I mean? Just to meet people and do that kind of thing.
We tell all of our guests, like, if you ever, like, we truly mean this, and I know people don't call us just because they don't want to impose, but we truly, we live here in Northeast Atlanta. 85 runs right through here, man. If you're coming through town, let us know. Let's go have a beer, eat dinner, come by, sit in the podcast studio. We got an extra room. You're always welcome.
I appreciate that. Yeah, definitely. You know, if I'm that way, I'll definitely give you a call. Maybe we can set something up, do some kind of hunt sometime soon.
That's right.
Sounds good, man. Yeah.
Good deal.
Tell everybody where they can get in touch with you.
Honestly, I run all the social media. I don't have a marketing manager or anything like that. So if you want to get in touch with me, you can message us on Pineside Performance on Instagram. Message me on my personal. I'm always on phone doing something. Unfortunately, that's the neck of the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how you get a hold of me. I mean, I'm pretty simple, pretty easy to get a hold to. If someone's talking crap, I probably won't respond. But if you have a question about something or need a tip on a hat or how to make something or a business idea, I can help you, I guess, to my best of my knowledge. Might not work for you, but or I could tell you what not to do. I don't know.
I love what you're doing, Joe. I love what you're doing, dude. I think, and that's one of the things I really am truly humbled by with this podcast is that we get to meet some great people. And, every time that we have a guest on that we get off a podcast and Tristan and I will like bump fists and we was like, dude, man, what a great person. Or, and you're falling in line with all that, dude. We love what you're doing. And thank you. And thank you for taking your time out tonight to spend it with us.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, guys. Like I said, I love we probably could have another 4-hour podcast. I could probably tell you so many more things that I did wrong with this business. I probably shouldn't be in this position, but hell, I don't give up. So we're just going to keep on doing this thing till the damn wheels fall off.
Well, that's why you're in that position, man, because you don't give up.
That's right.
That's the name of the game. That's what I tell anybody. Just don't give up.
That's right. All right, Joe. Well, man, thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
You guys have a good one. Thank you.
I've been southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I ought to slow down, standing in the pouring rain.